Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nityananda. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda.
Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nityanandam, we welcome all our viewers, all Kailasa Vasis attending from all Kailasa monasteries, gurukuls, temples, ashrams, and centers from around the world. We welcome all the Nityananda TV, Kailasa TV, Hinduism Now TV, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube viewers, and all those blessed to have Jnana Diksha two-way video conferencing for joining us for today's program. Welcome to today's pre-satsang segment, which will be followed by today's satsang. We'll start with a brief introduction to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasanithanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Paramashivam, is the reviver of Kailasa, the macrocosmic, ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva, as per Hinduism, recognized by his predecessors who are enlightened masters and adepts. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made the science of power manifestation, yoga, and temple-based universities a lifestyle for humanity. Now, let us go through the various coronations of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Before 1981, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was identified as the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva by spiritual adepts and enlightened masters of Hinduism. In 1981, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was initiated into Balana Sannyasa and performed his first Chaturmasya Vratam at the age of 3. In 1988, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the future Guru Mahasanithanam or Pontiff of the Thondai Madla Adinam, the oldest monastic university. On 24th May 1994, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the successor of Arunachala Suryapeetham by Guru Parampara. In the year 1999, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism founded the mission Nityananda Sangha to revive Kailasa internationally. In the year 1999, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the successor of Kashi Sarvanyapitha. On 4th November 2002, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism founded Adi Kailasa Sarangapita. On 1st January 2004, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was declared as successor of Bhagyanagara Shripura Sarvangapita. On 31st December 2004, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was declared as the incumbent emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Samrajyam of Suryavamsa lineage. In the year 2007, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was declared as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of the Adi Pallava Sarvapita. In the same year, in 2007, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Mahamandleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada. In the year 2007, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was declared as the Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada. In the year 2012, on 27th April, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Madurai, Shamla Pitha, Sarvangapita, the oldest Hindu papal state and monastic kingdom. In the year 2013, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was officially coronated as the Mahamandaleshwar, Supreme Spiritual Head of Mahanirvani Akhada, the largest apex monastic order of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was the youngest Mahamandaleshwar during this coronation. In the same year, in 2013, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was declared as the Acharya Mahamandaleshwar of Atal Akhada, the oldest monastic order in Hinduism, by Acharya Mahamandaleshwar Sukadevanandaji, the then incumbent spiritual head. In 2014, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Tanjore Adinam. In the same year, in 2014, he was also coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Tiruvarur Adinam, and also coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Vedaranyam Adinam, and also coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Panchanadikulam Adinam. In the year 2015, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharma Mukti Swargapuram Adinam. In the same year, in 2015, he was also coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Adi Pitha Koladamat. And in the same year, in 2015, he was elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by a congregation of over 1,000 spiritual leaders or pontiffs. Now let us look at some of the global initiatives of Kailasa. 28 years of relentless humanitarian services and initiatives, including free vegetarian food, medical services, natural disaster relief, women empowerment initiatives, conflict resolution and peace initiatives, sustainable Hindu practices through various international agencies and bodies. The following pictures show a small glimpse of the enormous hard work, relentless hard work of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism through his various international agencies and bodies of Kailasa throughout the 28 years. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has authored more than 300 books and written more than 10,000 articles which have been translated in 3 languages, English, Tamil and Sanskrit. Over 20 million copies, books and articles have been sold, read and downloaded. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has established the largest Hindu library with over 1 million books, 1 million palm leaf scriptures and over 20 million digital books. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is revered as the most prolific and most viewed guru in the digital world. He is read and watched by over 1 billion followers in Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has delivered over 10,000 hours of discourses which have gathered over 1 billion views on social media. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is respected as commentator of all sacred scriptures such as Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Shiva Sutras, Yoga Sutras, Ashtavakra Gita, Jain Sutras, etc. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is honored as leader of Hinduism, the most awarded, internationally recognized Hindu leader. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is acclaimed as one of the top 100 spiritually influential living personalities by Watley's Mind, Body, Spirit magazine. The Sovereign Order of Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyanaanda Paramashivam, and Nityananda Order of monks, nuns, and Hindu diaspora are working for global peace and to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the establisher of the largest Hindu university in the world with satellite campuses in 150 countries. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the establisher of over 1,000 Kailasa enlightenment ecosystems. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the founder and reviver of over 100 Sarvanapitams. With this, we come to the end of this small segment on a brief introduction to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We'll be moving on to the next segment. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Tell him mute.
I'm your Guru. I will make you enlightened. It's my commitment. Till you become Paramashiva, I won't rest. Don't worry at all. To all my disciples, I give you this as a boon. I'll swallow everything with which you are stuck and liberate you all. Time itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava.
Welcome back. We'll be looking at the world today and the poverty conditions in the world, especially during this crisis times of COVID-19 pandemic. About 9% of the world, or 689 million people, live in extreme poverty on less than $1.9 a day. 430 million people will be living in extreme poverty by 2030 as per projections. That is 30 million more than last year's projection, which is an increase by 7.5%. This increase in the projection of the world's poor is mainly because of the various wars, conflicts, and COVID-19 pandemic and its effects. 1.3 billion people live in multidimensional poverty. 32% of these are under 10 years old, and 50% are children. COVID-19 has doubled poverty rate in many parts of the world. COVID-19 can push 500 million people into poverty. Additional people in poverty due to 20% income drop, which has been caused by COVID-19 recession. People worldwide are struggling to cope up with the pandemic. The poverty rate has jumped from 21% in 2018 to 42% in 2020. Average per capita household expenditure of extreme poor has decreased by 45%, and the poor have been forced to adapt various strategies to cope up with the pandemic. For example, 48% have resorted to borrowing, 32% have relied on savings, 27% have reduced expenditure on non-food items, 27% have changed their dietary patterns involuntarily, and 16% have resorted to donations from friends and relatives. 689 million people live in extreme poverty, surviving on less than $1.9 a day. Children and youth account for 2/3 of the world's poor, and women represent a majority in most regions. Extreme poverty is increasingly concentrated in sub-Saharan Africa. About 40% of the region's people live in less than $1.9 a day. Extreme poverty rates nearly doubled in the Middle East and North Africa between 2015 and 2018 from 3.8% to 7.2%, mostly because of the crises in Syria and Yemen. Although countries impacted by fragility, crises, and violence are home to about 10% of the world's population, they account for more than 40% of people living in extreme poverty. By 2030, an estimated 67 of the world's poor will live in fragile contexts. About 70% of people older than 50 who live in extreme poverty have no schooling or only some basic education. 1.3 billion people in 107 developing countries, which account for 22% of world's population, live in multidimensional poverty. About 84% of multidimensionally poor live in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia. 644 million children are experiencing multidimensional poverty. More than half a billion people have been pushed further into extreme poverty due to healthcare costs. COVID-19 pandemic threatens to reverse years of progress in the fight against global poverty and income inequalities, and it jeopardizes the future of a generation of children. COVID-19 drove an additional 97 million people into extreme poverty in 2020, according to World Bank estimates. More than a year into the pandemic, the World Bank stresses that there is still much we don't know concerning its impact on global poverty in 2022. The impacts of COVID-19, rising global inequality, and soaring food prices are set to send more than a quarter billion more people into poverty this year, according to charity group Oxfam International. The combined hit may result in a total of 860 million people living below the $1.9 a day line by the end of 2022, or 263 million more than the projection before the pandemic. That's equivalent to the entire population of the UK, France, Germany, and Spain combined. 3.7 million more children have been pushed in poverty in January 2022. The monthly child poverty rate increased from 12% in December 2021 to 17% in January 2022, the highest rate since the end of 2020. The 5% point increase in poverty represents 3.7 million more children in poverty. In 2050, children in Africa accounted for 25% of global poverty. By 2030, it is projected that children in Africa will account for 43% of global poverty. Working poverty affects as many as 169 million youth in the world. The number increases to 286 million if the near poor are included. About 152 million young workers live in households that are below the poverty line. They comprise 24% of all working poor. Globally, large numbers of young people are out of school and engaged in child labor. About 1/10 of the total child population, that is 168 million children aged between 5 to 17 years, were involved in child labor. In developing countries, an estimated 2/3 of the youth are not fulfilling their economic potential. Poverty is widely believed to cause violence. The relationship between the two can be understood by the cycle of violence. Almost all 39 countries that have suffered civil wars since the year 2000 have also had one in the previous 3 decades. People in these countries are also more than twice as likely to be malnourished, 3 times as likely to miss school, and twice as likely to die in infancy. The United Nations reports that countries that suffer large-scale violence lose almost 1% in poverty reduction each year. It is often claimed that the crime rate among poor people is rising. But is this poverty really the mother of crime? First and foremost, it is quite apparent that many poor people become criminal because they have nothing to lose. They don't think about the consequences of their offenses. There are many poor people all over the world who have nothing to eat. The only way to get some food is shoplifting. In addition, the crime rate in poor countries is normally higher. According to UNICEF, 22,000 children die each day due to poverty, more than 3 each second. In the time it took us to read this paragraph, 3 more children died. Now, we'll be moving on to the next segment where we'll be looking at Kailasa's solutions through the Ishanya project to poverty. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
I'm your guru. I will make you enlightened. It's my commitment. Till you become Paramashiva. I won't rest. Don't worry at all. To all my disciples, I give you this as a boon. I'll swallow everything with which you are stuck and liberate you all. Time itself is nothing but your decision.
Welcome back. Now, we'll be going to the next segment where we'll be sharing about the Ishanya project. Actual truth is, humanity as a modern society have already reached a state of technology and infrastructure to provide food, clothing, and medical care for all 8 billion people calling planet Earth home. Unfortunately, our decision makers have not reached the necessary conscious level to make the humanitarian decisions of providing basic needs for all 8 billion people. The survival needs for all 8 billion people doesn't depend on availability of housing and food, but rather on the conscious level of decision makers. It is only consciousness we lack, nothing else. Let's look at the world today at a glimpse. First, food wastage. One side dumps tons of food to waste in oceans and landfills in order to maintain steady prices. On the other side, millions die of hunger. Medical equipment wastage. One side dumps functioning medical equipments for new models. The other side, millions die without access to the very basic medical equipments. Cloth wastage. One side dumps millions of tons of barely worn clothes into the ocean. The other side struggles for basic clothing. Home and shelter wastage. One side faces home foreclosures and empty, locked homes. The other side faces homelessness in millions. Now let us look at each of these one by one. One side, one-third food wastage versus 35 million affected by food poverty. One-third of the food produced in the world for human consumption every year, approximately 1.3 billion tons, gets lost or wasted. Food losses and waste amount to roughly 680 billion US dollars in industrialized countries and 310 billion US dollars in developing countries. 155 million people in 55 countries or regions faced a food crisis in 2021, adding the number as of now has increased to 265 million due to COVID-19 epidemic. Even if just 1/4 of the food currently lost or wasted globally could be saved, it would be enough to feed 870 million hungry people of the world. 35 million people dying from hunger worldwide. A child dies from hunger every 10 seconds. Poor diets are linked to 20% of all deaths worldwide. Medical equipment wastage. One side, 5.25 billion US dollars worth discarded equipment. Other side, no medical care for 100 million. US medical waste will attain 5.25 billion US dollars by 2027. Among regulated and unregulated clinical waste, around 80 to 85% can be reused. Unused supplies in medical facilities are often discarded unnecessarily rather than stored for later use, adding even more unnecessary garbage being carted away to landfills. Reprocessing industry saving 15 million pounds of medical waste from landfills and reducing costs to hospitals and surgical centers by over 544 million US dollars. The world's poorest countries are paying some of the highest drug prices, with everyday medicines costing up to 30 times more than in the rich countries. Half the world lacks access to essential health services. 100 million still pushed into extreme poverty because of health expenses. One side, 59,000 tons of clothes are getting wasted, versus other side, 1/8 affected by cloth poverty. 100 billion garments are produced each year, with 33% going to landfill. Every year, 59,000 tons of used and unsold clothing end up in Chile from all over the world. Every 10 minutes, an estimated 6,000 kilos of clothing and textile are dumped in landfills. 1 in 8 children without basic clothes. 1 billion children worldwide are multidimensionally poor without access to basic accessories. 22,000 children die each day due to unhygiene around the world. One side, 42 million vacant homes. Other side, 27% homelessness. The world has millions of vacant homes. 42 million of its 426 million homes are vacant. Roughly 1 in 10 homes in advanced economies are empty. Japan has topped a list of the nations with the highest percentage of vacant homes, with 13% of its dwellings not lived in. 1.3 million are in Canada. 27% increase in homelessness is likely due to the economic impacts of COVID-19. More than 1/3 of all people facing homelessness services are women and children. For the last 5 years, core homelessness has been rising year on year worldwide. Homeless people are over 9 times more likely to take their own life than the general population. 78% of homeless people report having a physical health condition, 44% of them having mental health diagnosis, and 41% use drugs and alcohol to cope up with mental health issues. Kailasa's aim is to raise the consciousness level in the world and bring to the fore the real issues facing the world, and through a specialized process of recycling, facilitating the movement of good quality unwanted items from haves to have-nots. This Chaturmasya, 4 months from July to October 2022 alone, 1 crore people should practice Samadhi to raise their consciousness, and 1 crore people should be pulled out of poverty. This is the vision that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has declared for Kailasa. There are threefold benefits. For donors, it is a great boon to provide to those in need. For the world, recycling removes a lot of hazardous material from nature, adding to a cleaner environment. For those in need, millions of people around the world will be alive and raised out of poverty, hunger, and inadequate health practices due to lack of medical facilities. It's a win-win-win situation. Over the last 27 years, Sri Kailasa has built a network of legal entities in 140 countries around the world, holding charity status in 118 of these countries. In many countries, Sri Kailasa's entities are registered distributors as well, meaning we can manage the entire process end to end. We will make full use of this network to collect clothing, medical equipment, and food material from the developed nations, transport them, and distribute it to countries and regions in need, with all transportation and distribution expenses sponsored by Sri Kailasa. Our process involves collection of clothing, medical equipment, and foodstuff from various countries around the world, followed by quality control and processing of received goods, and finally, distribution of good quality clothing, medical equipment, and food to the countries in need. With this, we come to the end of this segment on the Ishanya project. Moving on to the final segment, we'll be looking on how to create wealth. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Moving on to the next segment, solutions to overcome poverty. Create wealth. Life can be equated to two things. One, ability to achieve what you want in the inner or outer world. Two, just getting stuck in both the world. These are the only two equations. Right diagnosis. Everybody wants wealth, but they do not increase the life in them to the level they want it. Wealth can be equated to the life energy you express. It is a straight equation because as of now, a normal man has wealth as the first priority in the life. So if you do not have wealth, don't blame anybody. You are not expressing life in you. Life energy is not happening in you. Goal of creating wealth. Creating wealth is intrinsic part of life. Krishna says very beautifully in Gita, Gahano karmano gatihi. The universe, by its nature, works, works, works. If you have at least the goal of creating wealth, you will be creative. Your energy will be channeled properly. The first priority in life should be for moksha, enlightenment. Till that happens, the second priority can be creating wealth. Why should you create wealth? Creating wealth makes you non-violent because your whole energy becomes creative. Creating wealth brings tremendous interest in life and non-violence. What is wealth? Wealth is not just an object or a thing to be achieved. Wealth is an extension of you. Anything that adds to you is wealth. The quality of health you enjoy, the state of your relationships, the fulfillment you experience in your career, your mental state, your sense of inner fulfillment, all these are measures of the success with which you have created wealth in your life. Wealth is a utility. Wealth is not even just money or currency. Money is one wealth, currency is one wealth, the assets are one wealth, being alive, active is one wealth. All the four put together is wealth. Money, currency, assets, being active. Wealth is neither good or bad, it's a utility. Wealth consciousness means making a clear decision to break out of the myths and mental patterns that impoverish us and draw us again and again into poverty cycle. You don't manifest your desires. You manifest what you believe. You manifest what you cognize, what you perceive as reality. Wealth consciousness means making a clear decision to break out of the myths and mental patterns that impoverish us and draw us again and again into poverty cycle. Many of us say, I really desire wealth, but deep down you believe wealthy people are arrogant people, bad people. They do a lot of wrong things. If you believe wealthy people are arrogant, bad, wrong, they do many wrong things. They exploit others. If you have that belief, how are you going to manifest wealth in your life? Let us now look at all the beliefs you carry about wealth. Common belief 1, wealthy people are arrogant, bad people. If you carry deep resistance of wealth leading to you will not accumulate wealth. Even if you accumulate, you will carry guilt of wealth. Truth is, arrogance does not come by wealth. Arrogant people will be arrogant whether they have wealth or not. Arrogant means behaving as if you are more important than or know more than other people. But we wrongly associate wealth to arrogance, create a pattern, and start hating wealth as well. The same way we hate arrogance. Poverty is good. That's one of the common common misbeliefs. Deep inside us, we label poverty as good quality. We feel reverence and respect for poverty. How are we going to generate wealth then? Another common belief is handling wealth is more responsibility. We may feel uncomfortable. Whatever I want, I will not get it. Maybe you came to this conclusion by looking at some wealthy people who did not have any time for themselves. Will persistence. Anything you cognize, you create a certain energy field about your cognition. You attract situations, people, everything around you to make that cognition into reality. All you need is will persistence. Your decision, you will not give up. Your intention is will persistence. You may be desiring to have wealth, but you may not be believing, perceiving, and cognizing it as your possibility. The first and the foremost important step is create an energy field of attracting wealth. First step is to clean up the incompletions and patterns you carry about wealth and create a right space, a powerful magnetic energy center in you to attract wealth, situations, and people that supports you to create wealth like magnetic energy center for manifesting wealth the way you want. Dig out all the incompletions about money. Keep writing whatever comes to your mind. The moment you remember money, does it bring tremendous pain, suffering, impossibility, all that in you? What is the emotion or energy it invokes in you? The moment you think of money, whatever you feel and think, money is difficult, money is impossible. Unless you cheat, you can't get money. Even if you cheat, somebody will cheat from you. So much goes on inside you about money. Your incompletions with money. Just spend a few minutes and let's dig out all the incompletions, beliefs, mental patterns we have, perceptions, cognitions we have about money. Each belief or cognition starts from a particular incident. Identify the incidents when the wrong or incomplete beliefs about wealth started forming in you. Relive and relieve. Complete those incompletions. Go back to the same age when the incident happened, when the idea, belief, perception started building in you. After doing this completion, second step is to consciously decide what you want to manifest in next 3 months in wealth dimension. Write clearly what your intention is. What is it you want to manifest in next 3 months in the field of wealth? Whatever you think as well. You may think more than money, currency, a person as a wealth for your life, or situations as wealth for your life, or for some being active. People feel even extraordinary powers as well. Whatever you consider as your wealth, you want to manifest, attract in next 3 months, please pen down. With this, we come to the end of this segment on how to create wealth, why to create wealth, and solutions of Kailasas for poverty, both the solutions, the inner world solutions and the outer world solutions. Now, very, very important and exciting reminder, Paramashivoham level 3, starting from August 15 up until 4th September. After 3 years, the most awaited program with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Paramashivoham is an immersive 21-day awakening event to teach you the science of manifesting the ultimate consciousness in you. This Paramashivoham manifests the deeper experiences of 25 states of consciousness, vertical time zones, power manifestation. Join us for this grand event by registering at kailasa.org/Paramashivoham. With this, we come to the end of today's pre-satsang hosting segment. Now, let us prepare ourselves for today's alive satsang. Let us enter into the meditation. Please sit with your head, neck, spine in a straight line. With your hands folded, let us chant the Mahavakya and prepare ourselves for darshan in the upcoming alive satsang. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham.
Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nityananda
Nityananda, 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 Nityananda.
How will you explain? If some other kids are asking, or I can say the grown-up kids, if they ask, it is not happening. Why? The simple, straight, right reasoning. She is completely with the physical. When Swamiji says it will happen, that's all. She doesn't have the other idea. He may be telling to inspire me to meditate. He may be telling to show me the Advaita experience. If you think, no, he's telling a lie, it's a kudarka. If you think, no, he's telling me all these things so that I should meditate and feel connected to him, it's a vichara. It is neither, she neither has a kudarka nor as vichara. Even if you have vichara, you will miss vidarka. Understand? Even if you are just stuck with vichara, even if you give your own reasoning for my action, even if that reasoning is right as you think, you will miss exactly my actions results over you. Please understand, sometime when I say this kind of words, you will have it. People think, no, it is not going to happen. That is why I always tell people, when you come and ask for something, ask with the attitude of getting it. Not with the attitude, I will not get it and I will prove to him his words are lies. Now I am going to ask and I will not get it I'll go back and tell him that what he said did not come true. When you come with that attitude, what will happen? You are asking not to fulfill what you are asking. So naturally, what will I do? Tadastu, so that be, let it be, that's all, so be it. If you have the idea, it's not going to happen, it's kudarka. If you have the idea, no, he is blessing me, not to give, just to inspire me to go beyond. Then you may be having vichara, means you may have peace. But if you straight away, he is telling, that is the meaning, over. The simple Oxford Dictionary meaning, if you follow, for the words I am uttering, you will experience vidarka, the right reasoning. With that girl, when I said, you will have it, even our unconscious did not have second thought, I may have chocolate. No, Swamiji is telling me so that I will worship his photograph every day and I will have enlightenment. No. When you ask for chocolate, when I say the word chocolate, chocolate is the ultimate, not even enlightenment. Over. So she is very clear about that. She asked only for this and she doesn't care about anything else. Over. She is very clear about it. Vichara is like a thread connection between you and me. I can send you the spiritual ideas. Vidarka is a pipeline connection between you and me. Like how from different countries under the ocean the pipeline connections are brought. Same way, Vidarka is a pipeline connection. Straight away the materials can reach you. Not just the spiritual ideas. If you have the Vichara connection with me, my spiritual ideas will reach you. You will have peace. Vichara leads to asmita, peace. If you have the Vidarka connection with me, Vidarka leads to ananda, bliss. When I say you will have chocolate, you will have chocolate. That's all. Not that, no, by telling this chocolate, if I sit quietly and meditate and feel connect with him, he may give me enlightenment. No. I am not going to play that game now. So when I say, if you straight away have that word as a meaning, that's what I call Vidarka. Move from Vichara to Vidarka. Have that clear intensity. When I say have intensity, literally have intensity. When I say let your whole being feel the silence, just feel the silence. Do not try to feel, just feel. When I say feel my intense energy, just feel. When I say feel my presence, just feel. When I say let your whole body feel the intense silence, just feel. Don't try to feel. Oh, I think intense presence is happening. Yes, it is happening. It is coming. No. Just feel. Over. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to bother about anything else. You are already stable and already able. Now all you need to do is be available. That's all. When I say physically be available, just be physically available. Without any mental interpretation. Just be a wild tribe body. How a tribal man is nothing but his body. Just be like that. That's all. Vivekananda says beautifully, the Brahmins have the subtle grooves in the brain. Any concept they can just grasp, digest, internalize and reproduce. That's the Brahmin brain. And the lower caste men, they have strong body. Any force physically they can handle, change, divert, manipulate and express as they want. Vivekananda says, it is lot more easy to give enlightenment to the guy who is body based than the mind based. He says, if I am given the option between these two, I'll choose the body based. So I request all of you, just be body based, be physical. The moment I enter, you know you are filled. You know you are filled. Your body will respond to it. Your body will react to it. Your body will respond to my presence. Just completely be body based, so that that strong vidarka happens in you. That strong vidarka becomes experience in you. Let this strong vidarka be experience in you. No. When I say sit, just sit, means intensely sit. I am sitting. That's all. Then you will not be moving. Now as of now, I am trying to sit, I am moving also. No. Just sit. You are nothing more than your body. Drop all the illusory ideas you have. You are consciousness, you are soul, you are mind. Relax. You don't have a soul. No. Till you experience your soul, your concepts about soul is not soul. So you don't have a soul. You are body. Just be body. I'll make you experience your soul. Don't start believing you are a soul. If you start believing you are a soul, you will not sit. You will not be a body. You will not be a body. You will be hanging between something. That's what is I call ghost. The problem is, you have not experienced you have a soul. If you experienced you have a soul, you will be like me. No problem. You are believing you have a soul. You are believing you are a mind. Then naturally what happens? I have to deal with 10 fellows. Not just 300 fellows. 3,000 fellows are attending LBE. What can I do? 3,000 people are doing inner awakening. I have to attend too many people. I have to say, for example, if your name is Suresh, Suresh body, Suresh mind, Suresh emotion. So in the name of one ID card, 10 fellows are sitting. Whom will I handle? Who will get enlightened? Who will have the inner awakening? So don't be crowded. Just be an individual, so that I can attend you. So that I can attend you. Be physical. Be physical. You may be having thoughts. That does not mean you have mind. You may be having some idea of soul. That does not mean you have a soul. You are only one. That is your body on which the badge is hanging. Feel you are a body. You are centered in this area and you are moving your body. You are body. Stop with that. All other things is my responsibility. You be available as a body. That's all I want. I do not want you as a Brahmana here. I'll make you Brahmana, that is different. But I want you only as a physical person here. That is what I mean by the word available. Then straight away I can work on you. Straight away the process can start. Straight away the process will happen. So understand, physically feel you are intense, seeking, deciding. Understand? Let your muscles decide you want Jivan Mukti. Not your mind, not your brain grooves, not your consciousness, not your soul which you don't have. Now let your physical muscles, let your skin, let your bone, let your blood decide. Intensely you are going to work for enlightenment. These 21 days you will live, experience, radiate, carry Jivan Mukti with you. decide with your muscles. Please understand. I want you to think through the body, not through the mind. Think through the body. When you tell yourself, physically, I am deciding, I'll be intense. Let your muscles feel that intensity. Let your muscles become stiff. Let your blood run fast. Let your bone feel the strength. Physically decide you are going to be Jivan Mukta. You are going to live enlightenment. Physically pray, not mentally visualizing somebody sitting somewhere, or you visualizing yourself, I pray to you, O Lord, O my Father who is sitting in heaven. No. The mental prayer is one of the greatest damage done to the human consciousness. Please understand. The mental prayer is one of the greatest damage done to the human consciousness. I don't accept mental prayer. Understand? I don't accept mental prayer. If I am seeing you, all the words which I utter will penetrate you like an arrow. It will just hit your muscles. I straight away want to work on your muscles. No more on your brain. I am tired of your brains. So I am talking to your muscles. If your brain is interfering, I will tell you, keep quiet, I am not talking to you. Where is your card? Come on. Why are you here without card? So don't bring anybody inside the hall without card. So only your body is having card. You are not being, did they give you any card for your mind, brain? No. They gave you the physical card. So it is on the physical body. Only that is allowed inside this hall. Now only that is allowed inside the ashram for next 21 days. So be physical. Completely be body based. Feel the whole body from the Muladhara, from that part that where you are sitting, from that Muladhara. Just feel the body physically. Let your muscles decide, I'll be Jivan Mukta, not your brain. Your brain has decided 10,000 times, it never happened. Let your muscles decide, I'll be Jivan Mukta. Let your bone decide, I'll be Jivan Mukta. See, usually when you make decision, 90% brain, only 10% body. Now, 90% body, only 10% brain. Now, even that I will not allow, 100% body. No brain. I don't want here anybody who is deciding with brain. So, physically decide. I will be a Jivan Mukta. I will go through the whole thing physically. You are body, nothing but you are nothing but a body. Even though you go on believing you are a soul, you are a soul, you are a soul. When some pain comes, what happens? All Paramatma, Atma, superconscious soul, Purna, Purna Brahma, Brahmanya, Prajna, what happens to all that? Poinde, it's gone. So be very clear. The first truth I want you to know, you are a body. So be a body. Do not believe anything which you are not experientially having. You go on believing you are a soul just because some fool has told you. No. Till you experience, you are not. When George Gurdjieff says, you don't have a soul, he is right. He says, you don't have a soul. You have to create soul. He is right. You don't have a soul. You have to experience it. When that happens, let it happen. Now, you are just a body. Be body. Be a body. Drop all the nonsensical books you read. No, the problem is, the moment you start thinking, you never get into the process. You are completely brain-based, and that is why never anybody experienced Brahman by reading Brahma Sutra. No. They go on chewing the betel leaf and betel nut and talking about the difference between the Avyaya Brahma, Anavyaya Brahma, Nirguna Brahma, Saguna Brahma. And finally what happens? 20 betel leaf disappeared. That's all. Nothing else, no other benefit. The Kasi Pandas, they go on sitting and discussing, and nothing happens. So I want you guys to be physical, straight body. Only then you will experience the truth. So let us start with what we are. Be physical in everything. Be physical in everything. When you lie down, sleep. When you put the food in the mouth, eat. When you are walking, walk. When you are sitting, sit. That's all. Nothing else. Nothing else is required. You don't need to do anything else. So just sit over. These 21 days, decide strongly. I am not going to remember anything by force. Understand? To do your job only, you need to remember things. To do your job, to do your profession, you need to remember things. 21 days, you don't need to do anything. I give you the freedom, you don't even have to remember the timing of the class. We will bring you to the class. Even if you are lying down, we have a stretchers. And volunteers to put you in the stretcher and bring you here. Decide, these 21 days, I will not remember anything by force. Understand? The civilization which constantly exploits you to build its infrastructure wants you to remember things. Now I am telling you, these 21 days, be free from memories. You don't have to remember anything by force. Decide a very clear, strong no to all the ugly fellows who are exploiting you by making you remember the things which you don't want to remember. You know, you don't want to remember your office file. You don't want to remember your software job. You don't want to remember the time you have to go to office. You don't want to remember the small money which you get. You don't want to remember your boss' name. So, physically decide. I will be a Jivan Mukta. I will go through the whole thing physically. You are body, nothing but you are nothing but a body. Even though you go on believing you are a soul, you are a soul, you are a soul. When some pain comes, what happens? All Paramatma, Atma, superconscious soul, Purna, Purna Brahma, Brahmanya, Prajna, what happens to all that? Poinde, it's gone. So be very clear. The first truth I want you to know, you are a body. So be a body. Do not believe anything which you are not experientially having. You go on believing you are a soul just because some fool has told you. No. Till you experience, you are not. When Auspansky, George Gurdjieff says, you don't have a soul, he is right. He says, you don't have a soul. You have to create soul. He is right. You don't have a soul. You have to experience it. When that happens, let it happen. Now, You are just a body. Be body. Be a body. Drop all the nonsensical books you read. No, the problem is the moment you start thinking, you never get into the process. You are completely brain-based, and that is why never anybody experienced Brahman by reading Brahma Sutra. No. They go on chewing the betel leaf and betel nut and talking about the difference between the Avyaya Brahma, Anavyaya Brahma, Nirguna Brahma, Saguna Brahma. And finally what happens? 20 betel leaf disappeared. That's all. Nothing else, no other benefit. The Kasi Pandas, they go on sitting and discussing, and nothing happens. So I want you guys to be physical, straight body. Only then you will experience the truth. So let us start with what we are. Be physical in everything. Be physical in everything. When you lie down, sleep. When you put the food in the mouth, eat. When you are walking, walk. When you are sitting, sit. That's all. Nothing else. Nothing else is required. You don't need to do anything else. So just sit over. These 21 days, decide strongly. I am not going to remember anything by force. Understand? To do your job only, you need to remember things. To do your job, to do your profession, you need to remember things. 21 days, you don't need to do anything. I give you the freedom, you don't even have to remember the timing of the class. We will bring you to the class. Even if you are lying down, we have a stretchers. And volunteers to put you in the stretcher and bring you here. Decide, these 21 days, I will not remember anything by force. Understand? The civilization which constantly exploits you to build its infrastructure wants you to remember things. Now I am telling you, these 21 days, be free from memories. You don't have to remember anything by force. Decide a very clear, strong no to all the ugly fellows who are exploiting you by making you remember the things which you don't want to remember. You know, you don't want to remember your office file. You don't want to remember your software job. You don't want to remember the time you have to go to office. You don't want to remember the small money which you get. You don't want to remember your boss name. You don't want to remember the work which you need to do. There are so many thousands of things which you don't want to remember, especially your office address. You don't want to remember, but you are forced to remember many things. These 21 days, decide, I will not remember anything. I give you the full freedom not to remember anything. Anyhow, I am not telling you, be like this after the 21 days also. That is different. After 21 days, what happens, happens. Forget about that. Now these 21 days, decide, I will not remember anything. Show your anger and vengeance on the forced memory which you are carrying for last so many years. So many memories which you don't want to remember has been forced on you. You have to remember that. Now take revenge. Decide, I am not going to remember anything for the next 21 days. There are so many things, you know. Now I know what all you are thinking. I will not remember my wife's name. I will not. I know. Before even boss name first comes, spouse name. Anyhow, decide clearly, I will not remember anything. You have the freedom not to remember even the ideas which I am teaching here. You can. You just forget. One more thing, be very clear. I am straight away telling you, I am working on your muscles. Means whatever ideas I am uttering, I am recording into your muscles. So you don't have to consciously remember. Forget about it. You have a freedom. You have a freedom. When I uttered this word, last inner awakening, many people were not able to understand. People who have done last inner awakening, you can understand now. Many times, when you need, these memories will remind you, will come up. These ideas will come up. Because I am not talking to your brain. I am tired of your brains. I am talking to your muscle. This whole program, you can see very clearly. When I am talking, your muscles will have the process. Your muscles will go through the transformation. Your bones will feel it. Your body will feel it. When I say, I really mean. Your body. I am working with your body, with your bio-memory, prarabdha. Not even the word bio-memory has word memory. I am working with your biology. Straight on your biology, on your body. So be very clear, be physical. Just be physical. And decide clearly, I will not remember anything. And you don't have to. Just enjoy the freedom from memories. Enjoy. There is nothing needs every day. How many thousands of things you need to remember? Even after that, constantly you are blamed, you are not remembering things. Now, I give you the freedom. Just freak out. Don't remember anything. Don't remember anything. Nothing needs to be remembered. Don't remember anything by force. You don't even have to remember that you don't have to remember anything by force. Because the other day, when I was talking about this to our LBE guys, many of them started worrying. Oh, if I don't have to remember anything, then what all will happen? I may forget this person. Then they start worrying. If I am not able to forget all of them, what to do? So not to remember became one more worry for these guys. I tell you, don't have to remember anything, and you don't even have to remember that you don't have to remember anything. Freedom from the memories, not only freedom from memories, freedom from the memory that you don't have to remember memories. Over. Just be in the mood, you don't have to remember anything. I can say this is the ultimate liberation. Ultimate liberation. You don't have to remember anything. If something can be forgotten, if you don't remember just 21 days, is it worthy of remembering? Forget about it, it's okay. Consciously decide. You will not remember anything by force. You will just be physical. You will just be physical. So, all I want you to do is only these two things. Just be physical, your body. Second thing, you don't need to remember anything. You are free not to remember anything. See, there are many things which you are doing by not remembering. Breathing. You don't remember every moment I am breathing. Let that happen. Anything which happens without any effort, let that happen. Anything which you need to do by effort and remembering, you don't have to do. When I told this, all our LBE students, they questioned, no, if I don't remember to come to the class, is it okay? I said, perfectly all right. It's okay. Even if you come to the class, what am I going to do? I'm just going to teach you the same truth. But I'm saying everybody is properly in time to the class without sleeping, without feeling tired. I'm not seeing any chaos. Even if some chaos happens, don't bother. We are here to manage. I am here to add truth to you and make you go through the chaos which you go through when the truth is added to you. Not the chaos, bringing you to the order. Now you are already in chaos. When you are brought to the order, you call that period as chaos. That is not chaos. That is falling in tune with the order. Falling in tune with the truth. We are ready to see that you go through that period. So decide strongly. No more remembering. Don't remember anything. Your whole life you have been struggling to remember so many things. Remember. And the whole fear of remembering the things. Such a big fear. Now, 21 days, decide. I am not going to remember anything. And you don't need to. The time food is ready, classes are happening, everything is in proper. So you don't need to remember anything by force. Even for my Swamis, I tell them, forget everything. Don't decide not to remember anything. Then you will remember what I want. You will remember exactly what I want. Only that you will remember. You will not remember anything else. So just forget. Decide strongly. Consciously, let your muscles decide. I am not going to remember anything. The more and more and more things you need to remember, the more and more fear to need to remember, that fear to need to remember leads to kudarka and depression. That is why people who need to remember more things are kudarka based. There are only two civilizations. Civilizations which is totality based. Civilizations perfection based. All perfection based civilizations are memory based. All totality based civilizations are consciousness based. When you see now, as on now, the pressure you have to need to remember, so naturally you will have 1,000 thoughts per moment. The cosmos is in 100 thoughts per moment, or 0 thoughts. Because you are carrying 1,000 thoughts, the cosmic archives can never get downloaded into you. Come down. Decide not to remember. Suddenly your TPS will come down. The cosmic memories can directly get downloaded into you. Otherwise, from where do you think constantly I am talking new things? Constantly I am uttering new things. From where do you think it is happening? Can you think just by reading and remembering I can talk? If I am talking from memory, long before I would have become mad. Now people who are listening to me itself become mad. Forget about talking. All the things which I uttered, try to remember. You can't. Whatever I uttered in last 6 years, for you to study and remember, it will take one janma, one birth. The whole secret is not having thousands of memories, deciding to forget everything. And suddenly you see, the cosmic archives gets downloaded into you. You are constantly new. I tell you, these 21 days you don't need your technical knowledge. Do you need to be a doctor these 21 days? No, you don't need. You don't need to be a lawyer. You don't need to be a psychiatrist. You don't need to be a doctor. You don't need to be an engineer. You don't need to do anything these 21 days. So decide, I will not remember anything. Just decide. A simple decision. Conscious decision by your muscles that I am not going to remember anything. Just be in that freedom. What great freedom it is. What great liberation it is. That I don't need to remember anything. God, I can say this ultimate freedom. This ultimate liberation. Don't even have the fear. After 21 days I have to remember what to do. Don't even have that corner. Decide. You don't have to remember. What is there? What is there? I am not remembering anything. It does not mean I am dead or I am in the forest. The whole thing is happening. It will happen around you. It will happen around you. Understand? Just these two is enough. Be in the mood of the introduction. Be physical and decide not to remember anything by force. If it comes up, okay. When the noon time, you will feel like it will come up. Let me have food. No, go and eat. You don't have to force yourself to forget that. Don't remember anything by force. That's all. So, just these few things. Internalize. Be physical. Now, let us enter into the first process. Let your bones decide you will be a Jivan Mukta. Let your muscles decide, you will be a Jivan Mukta. Let your blood decide, you will be a Jivan Mukta. Let your body decide, you will be a Jivan Mukta. Let your body decide, you will have the inner awakening. Whatever you understand by that word. You may have few concepts. By being Jivan Mukta means, I will be like Swamiji. Or I will be more than Swamiji. You may have some idea. That idea is okay, no problem. But physically decide, I will do that. Let your heart decide. Means that heart which is hand size, which is continuously pumping the blood, let that decide. Not your spiritual heart, which is a big lotus. Foolish fellows. How can there be 7 lotus inside? Some foolish teaching and you are also believing. So, let your liver decide. Let your heart decide. Let your body decide that you will be a Jivan Mukta. You will awaken yourself. You will achieve, you will live enlightenment.
As life introduces itself, let's welcome it with all the doors open. Go beyond where words can't go. 21 days in His presence as He reveals truths. An invitation to visit the land of eternal bliss, heaven on earth with the Master of the Millennium, Paramahamsa Nithyananda. Register now for the special program, Inner Awakening, December 2nd to 23rd. Email innerawakening2009@gmail.com. Visit us at www.dhyanapitham.org. Phone 919731257960, 919742203311, 918027202801 or 918027202084. Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Bidadi, Bangalore, Karnataka, India 562109.
स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दं कृपापूर्णं जगत्पतिं हरिषड्वर्गजेतारं नित्यानन्दगुरुं भजे. स्वभावचिन्मयानन्दम्
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Understand? Intensity, feeling connected deeper and deeper with the seer is the essence. When you understand the futility, understand? When you understand the futility of all these 3 states and trying to change the scene in all these 3 states, your whole attention will fall on the seer. If you think there is some utility in all these 3 states, you will be engaged in it. If you realize the futility of all these 3 states, your whole attention will turn towards the center, the seer, and the awakening will happen. All Mahadeva means in the sutra, through the sutra, understand and turn towards the center.
no technique. Understand? If you ask, how can I do? Please give us some technique. Then go for Nitya Sutras. There are so many Nitya Sutras to give you the technique to turn your attention towards the center. Let me describe. Nitya Sutra means which you need to understand, internalize, practice whole day. Dhyana Sutra means which you need to internalize, practice at particular point of your life, part of your life. Ananda Sutra means which you need to just internalize, no need to practice. Means these are the clicks given by Mahadeva to the intense seekers, to the real sincere seekers. Many people come and claim, I am real sincere seeker, give me experience. It's like not only that, they will literally demand, and sometimes they will complain also, I think you are not able to give, that's why you are giving all the reasons. I tell them, okay, anyhow. No. Anyhow, they have a right to tell, nothing wrong. The moment you sit in the throne, you open yourself to any question, you open yourself to anybody's comments. That's okay. But understand, now this is the way to check your sincerity, your intensity. If this understanding clicks in you, in the dream state, to wake you up, it does not take more than one click. This is a dream. That's all. You are awakened. Means you are really intense. During nightmare, a very wild dream, where you are really with your spouse. Just one thought, one click. This is a dream. You are awakened. You are out. Same way, if you are intense in this dream, one click, this sutra is enough, you will be out. You will be out. If you think, no, I need some more technique, then you are not really going through nightmare or intense dream. You are just having some casual flow of thoughts. Sometimes, the dream state you will see without any clarity, some casual black and white shows will be going on around you. You will neither feel like watching it nor feel like coming out of it. If you are in that kind of dream, you are just wasting your time. You are just wasting your time. I have seen sometime in India, 30 years these guys will do the government job in same office and same house. These fellows are in that kind of dreams. Neither they will go down nor they will go up, wasting, buffaloes. Useless. Please do not be in that state. Understand, if you are in that state, then this click will not happen. It will not be a sharp, strong shift. Mahadeva is very confident. He says very clearly, any intense seeker who is waiting for that fire means the initiation from the master, understanding, a strong click. This one click is enough. He says, beloved, at this moment he is addressing Devi. That's why he is saying, beloved. Of course, all of us are embodiment of Devi. He is not just talking to Devi. Keeping Devi in the front, he is talking to all of us. Krishna did not talk just to Arjuna. Keeping Arjuna in the front, he is speaking to all of us. If he has spoken just to Arjuna, then why should we bother about him? Forget about it. It is some conversation between two friends, over. Keeping Arjuna in the front, he is talking to all of us. Here, Mahadeva is talking to all of us, keeping Devi in the front. He says, beloved, at this moment, let mind, knowing, breath, form be included. Understand? A very powerful word, included. Means only the seer who is seeing can include all these three. Only a person who is seeing this waking state, who is going through dream state, and who is going through the deep sleep state can include all these three. Now, your identity which you are experiencing during waking state, if you are a doctor, lawyer, engineer, whatever, your identity which you are experiencing in the waking state cannot include all the three. You can include only the waking state, because only this is your experience. Only if you are aware of the identities which you are carrying in all these three and enjoying, if you have caught the thread line, central line, a deeper thread of all these three, understand? Waking, dream, and deep sleep. Only when you catch the thread of all these three, suddenly you will be able to include all the three. One important thing, people come and ask me, no, Swamiji, I don't think in the deep sleep I am aware. Then who is the person who comes back and says, it was deep of all these three state? All these three, if you are aware of the identity of all these three, you are conscious enough, your seeking is intense enough to be answered, to be initiated, to be blessed. If you are not already aware of all these three states, if you have not experienced all these three states with the same identity, then naturally you need to now intensify your seeking. An intense seeker will carry the identity about himself throughout all these three. If you have even experienced once or twice in the dream state, suddenly you are remembering you are something beyond the identity which you think as you in the dream state. I have seen the seekers going through this experience. In the dream state, they will be dreaming, but suddenly they will identify themselves with the identity of the waking state. Then they will think, this is too small thing, nothing. How many of you had that experience of waking state identity in the dream state? Understand? Then you have an intensity. Your seeking is intense. Then this sutra can straight away click with you. There are some more people who carry that same awareness even to the deep sleep, even to the swapna. For them, the very understanding of this three state, suddenly they will come back to the center to awaken themselves to the fourth state, to the Turiya. A small story. One day early morning, a Zen master started crying. The moment he came out of his bed, he started crying. Disciples asked, why are you crying? Master very beautifully says, yesterday night I dreamt that I became a butterfly. The disciples are asking, for that you don't have to cry. Now you are okay, you are sitting in front of us, why are you bothered? Why are you crying? He says very beautifully, I do not know whether I dreamt that I became butterfly or that butterfly is dreaming now, it has become master. Understand, it is true. Very rare few individuals can carry the intensity to have a same unconnected, unclutched or undisturbed identity. If you can carry if you can carry a connected, a straight, undisturbed, unbroken identity throughout these three states, you are a seeker. The Pratyagatma Chaitanya, individual consciousness is awakened. The Pratyagatma Chaitanya Jakratam has happened. These are all some of the Sanskrit technical terms. I always wanted to express or remember the Sanskrit words also, because I want all of you to know there are many non-portable things in the Vedic tradition. Understand? It means a person to experience the ultimate truth. If somebody says, you don't have to have any lifestyle change, you can have it like a pill, then forget about him. People who are selling the portable knowledge without emphasizing the importance and sanctity of the non-portable part are not just using the Vedic tradition, they are abusing the Vedic tradition. That's the reason I wanted Sanskrit word also to be continuously put in record. Of course, just speaking in Sanskrit, you may not be able to connect or relate with it. That's why I am giving the English translation. But there are so many Sanskrit words which cannot be translated. If you have a chance, do not miss to study the original words and the original meaning, because whenever I give a meaning, I am only giving one dimension, one part of that word. When you translate the word brahmacharya into celibacy, it's only one dimension of that brahmacharya, not the whole brahmacharya. Exactly the technical translation of the word brahmacharya means living like God. Only one part is celibacy, means the freedom, independence. The whole word brahmacharya cannot be translated into word celibacy. Same way, so many words, Sanskrit words cannot be translated. If you can study a little bit, it can open new doors and open deeper and deeper understandings. Sanskrit is the language. She is the Veda Mata. She reveals our reality and truth based on your spiritual growth. If you evolve yourself to the next level, she will reveal the new meaning. The same line, you will see the new meaning. She is a living language created by living beings. Out of life she comes out. That is why she only increases the life in you. She only creates life in you. The language came out of the living beings and creating intense life. She is living energy, living language, not dead language. If it is a dead language, you can have only one meaning. At the most, two meaning, poetic and linguistic. Means when it is used in prose, one meaning, and when it is used in poem, another one meaning. That's all. But with Sanskrit, the more you evolve, the more truths will be revealed. The more details will be revealed. Pratyagatma Chaitanya Jakratam. The individual consciousness awakening means individual consciousness is the thread which is running through all these three states. Jakrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Knowing, breath and form. Form is this body, breath is the dream body, and knowing is the deep sleep state. Knowing without knower is a deep sleep, Sushupti. Breath without awareness is the dream state. Form without the person who is enjoying the form is waking state. Form with the person who is enjoying the form. The person who is enjoying the form is formless. Because you are not this body, you are able to see this body. If you are this body, just this body, you cannot see this body. Anything you are able to see, it is not you. The form with formlessness, breath with awareness, knowing with knower is enlightenment. Knowing without knower, breath without awareness, form without formlessness is death. That is what is unconscious life. That is what, I don't even call that as life, waiting for death. There are so many people just waiting for death. It has not happened and does not have courage to quicken it or make it happen. That is not life. The life, the knowing without knower, breath without awareness, and form without formlessness is dragging, waiting for death, not life. Knowing with knower, breath with awareness, form with formlessness is enlightenment. Mahadeva says include all these three, means he is saying intensify your awareness, intensify your attention towards the awareness which is beyond these three. Then you will catch the thread which is running through all these three states. Understand? Again I am emphasizing, it is not Nitya Sutra which you need to practice whole day, not Dhyana Sutra which you need to practice part of your day. It is Ananda Sutra. Understand, just simple understanding is enough. Ananda Sutra means Shravana leads to Nididhyasana. Listening leads to expression. In Vedic tradition, three things are there: Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Shravana means internalizing, listening and internalizing. Manana means contemplating. Maybe some sutras you need to contemplate 24 hours whenever you remember you. Some sutras you may need to contemplate on particular time, like a morning half an hour or evening half an hour. That's what is called. If you need to contemplate 24 hours, it is called Nitya Sutra. If you need to contemplate on particular time, morning and evening, then it is called Dhyana Sutra. Understand? If you don't need to contemplate at all, straight away Shravana, listening and internalizing, leads to expression, Nididhyasana. It is called Ananda Sutra. Nididhyasana means expressing that reality in your life. Shravana, internalizing. Manana, meditating, contemplating. Nididhyasana, expressing the reality. This sutra does not need manana. Just Shravana, internalizing, straight away makes Nididhyasana, expression to happen. How to understand and internalize? Now, the essence, the knowing, your deep sleep state, breath, your dream state, the form, your waking state, all these three as a base, that is you. You are experiencing all these three. Turn your attention to that person who is experiencing all these three and include. The moment you turn the attention intensely towards you, who is experiencing, no technique can be given. There are so many techniques, who am I and all those things. Ramana Maharshi's techniques, so many. That and all is a Nitya Sutra. You can practice those techniques. But here Mahadeva says, no technique is needed, because this is Ananda Sutra. It is given to a person who is evolved, intense. If you are that intense, catch the glimpse. Means, turn the attention towards you. You will see what Mahadeva says, the ultimate experience, the Shiva consciousness will happen this moment in you. If you feel you are not that intense, then take up the Dhyana Sutras to bring your awareness to the self. There are many Dhyana Sutra and Nitya Sutra. Mahadeva has spoken. Take up any one of them and intensify. So now the essence, mind, which is in front of you, through which you are seeing, knowing, which is behind you, which you are using to know further and further, breath, which is like a connecting mechanism, form, which is your base, include everything through the seer, you, who is beyond all these three. If you catch the click, if you had the click or initiation, yes, what he says is right. If you add that click, try including, try to be all inclusive. If you are not able to catch that click, contemplate. Then start the Nididhyasana, means go to Nitya Sutras. You will see the promise or the technique which Mahadeva is giving, or the experience which Mahadeva is promising will happen in you. At this moment, let mind, knowing, breath, form be included. Let you achieve this truth. Let's gather for next session. Thank you. Next session, we'll have the next truth. I can say Mahadeva is taking us to the deeper level in the next sutra. We'll see the next sutra in the next session. Thank you. Few of your questions, then we'll enter into the next sutra. Your divine pure love has brought me back here today and receive your true yogic alchemy of understanding enlightenment. I wholeheartedly and soulfully would like to fully join your divine missions in every way. At this present time, please give me your divine guidance that I need to handle all the challenges and start with your divine work. You can ask the energization. I'll see individually, give you some idea or some words. Same person, some personal question, please ask in the energization. May I know who is the person? Lily Akpam. Okay, in the energization you can ask. At this time I am aware of my breath. My breathing is not disturbing the intense tingling. I do not want to come out of this state. It has been happening more often and is in the middle of the night too, and so many times seeing you with your Trishul helping me. That state, is it all my imagination? It cannot be imagination, relax. Imagination will lead to suffering, but here you are writing, Swamiji, I seem to start feeling the tingling feeling, growing intensity and deep smile on my face. Deep smile can never come by imagination. It can come only by experience. Imagination, you will create only suffering because you are trained to produce suffering. You are trained to create suffering. If you are not creating suffering, you are not imagining. Did Shiva take birth on planet Earth? What was it before or after we were on Earth? Why do we forget who we are? Do we remember who we are when not in physical form, or this some expansion process? Wow. You are practically asking the whole business secret. Maybe you have to become partner to know so much. So invest your life, then we will share. We will see. Because you are practically asking the password for the bank locker. The problem is, unless you have an account in that particular bank, even if I describe, you will not be able to understand. I'll say take right, go to the third locker, open the third locker and take the key and go to the left, and unless you have seen the bank, you will not even be able to use, even if I give answer. Means unless you have some intensity and commit your life to the spiritual life and practice, even if I give the answer, it will be useless. It will be useless. Actually, yesterday, after the discourse, some of the disciples came and asked me, the ashramites, Swamiji, if we could have had the picture of Arunachala temple, we would have understood more visually. But now, no need for understanding with the picture, because the description was so clear. What you understood is enough. And suddenly one devotee reminded me, Swamiji, then that same experience happened on January 1st night. Because 31st night, I entered the temple. One day I was lying there, means the crying and exhausting. That night, first time yesterday I realized, yes, January 1st. Again, January 1st night. Actually, I came to know even about the date because in the night time nobody will be allowed in the temple. Because it was a function date, they were cleaning. The preparation was, see, January 1st morning, the huge crowd will come. So the watchman, in India, security person and the worker will be both same. Security person only will clean. Now, it is the cleaning also is their responsibility. And these guys, they need people for holding the pipe or the hose pipe. So they will allow all the kids inside to hold the pipe so that it's a huge place, not a small area. 27-acre granite built up area. 27-acre granite has to be cleaned with water. It's not a joke. So they will allow the kids to hold the pipe. We will have to be holding the pipe and continuously we have to walk. And it's not a small area. Don't think temple means seeing our temple. Forget about it. Only the murti is replica, but not the temple. It's like a, you have to do so many round even to clean once. So that is the way I was allowed. Now, after remembering all those points, suddenly yesterday we remembered, yes, again, January 1st night was the time when the experience landed. Anyhow, even this experience when I verbalize, you are not able to catch unless you see that place. If you have seen that place, you will be able to catch more deeper. Same way, even if I give the password, the answer to all the questions, what you are asking, why we forget who we are and all those things, you will not be able to catch. Just understand only one thing. You are not expressing your potential possible truth. Things which can happen to you has not happened. Just remember that and start working towards it. All these questions will be answered as a byproduct or the side effect on the way. That is the best way to have the answers.